Hello and welcome back to Clickfunnels 101, Introduction to Clickfunnels. We are going to tackle Section 2 head on. In this section, we are going to sign up for the 2-week free trial for Clickfunnels. After 2 weeks, it does return to its regular price. Then we're going to take a short trip around the back office. We're going to get comfortable with all things Clickfunnels, connect a domain. Basically, a domain is like a .com, .org, .biz, something along those lines. We're going to then connect an autoresponder for email marketing. We are going to review the components of a ClickFunnels, and then we're going to get into the nitty gritty. Without further ado, let's go ahead and start that 2-week free trial. Hello and welcome back to Clickfunnels 101, Introduction to Clickfunnels. In this video, we are going to sign up for the 14-day free trial to Clickfunnels. Now, you will need a credit card because after 14 days, it does roll over to the regular price, but I want you to click the link in the description if you don't already have ClickFunnels to sign up. I'll leave a link below this video to get started. So basically what we're going to do is I'm going to take you step by step how to sign up. So we're just going to start the free 14-day trial. We are going to enter your full name, enter an email address, and then a good password. Then we're just going to click Start Building My First Funnel. Then you need to go through the additional information. Let's see, we'll go. All right. And then it says, this is what we call a order bump. It's a one-time offer to get you to spend a little bit more with ClickFunnels. We are not going to select that right now. You can if you want, but I recommend that you do not do that. So just enter in your credit card. As I mentioned, it will be required for this step. And then enter in your information here. And then make sure that you do not select this unless you are interested in the funnel training. And then finally click this here. It says 14 days from today. Then it'll just be $297. There is also a lower tier option. I believe that's like $97 a month. For most people, that's going to be your best value. The only time you want to look at the $297 per month is if you're selling a digital product, or if you really want to connect everything, keep everything connected. For example, if you want to use ClickFunnels for the email autoresponder, then you'd want to use the $297 per month. But for most people, the cheaper option, I believe it's $97 per month, is the best option. I'm going to show you how to connect it to an autoresponder so that you can use that as opposed to paying for the $297. But again, if you're selling your own digital product, then it is the best method to do, best way to go. So we're going to click process my payment. It's going to be free for the first 14 days. All right, so now that we have made it to the next step, this is called a one-time offer, an OTO. This is an attempt to, because you've already invested your time and energy into ClickFunnels, they know that you're interested, they're going to try and get you to upsell into this value. It's $100, it's an incredible value, but it's not required at this time. Again, if you want to, you can invest in it, but it's not mandatory for what we're going to do in this video. You can always come back and do it at a later date, but it's not required at this point. So we're just going to scroll all the way down to the bottom and say, no thanks, I don't want to join the One Funnel Away challenge at a huge discount. And then finally, we're just going to skip past it. If you want, you can get your free ClickFunnels t-shirt, but we're going to say no thanks. So this is the brand new interface or back office for ClickFunnels. Now that we have successfully signed up, the next step is just to kind of roll through and take a look at all of the different things that we can do with the back office. So in the next video, we're going to take a spin around the back office, take a look at some of the things that we have access to, and start getting started building funnels. So I can't wait to see you in the next video. All right, in this video, we are going to take a short trip around the back office. We're going to take a look at some of the things that the back office offers us before we get into the nitty gritty, which will be actually building out our funnels and connecting domain names and all of that good stuff. So First things first, build a funnel. This is where you could go to build a landing page, opt-in page, bridge page, things of that nature. Build a follow-up funnel. Basically, that is an autoresponder sequence. They call it a follow-up. They call it a follow-up funnel. It can also be called a follow-up sequence, autoresponder. There are a few different names for it. When you send a broadcast, it's a one-time email that gets sent out to anybody and everybody on your mailing list or whomever you want it to be sent to. So that's basic terminology. If you're selling digital products, you can see that information here in the middle. Calendar, affiliate earnings. If you become an affiliate for Clickfunnels, you can see how much money you are making. If we go up here to the top, if we click on Clickfunnels, you can build funnels if you'd like. We just click on funnels here. This is where you'd go to build like landing pages, websites, bridge pages, all of those good things, which we'll get into at a later date. If we click down and go to contacts, these would be people that are on your mailing list or maybe have purchased a product from you recently. If we go down to sales, this basically just talks about the sales that you've made. You can handle like returns and invoicing and all of that stuff here if you wanted to. If we go down to funnel marketplace, this is where you can buy premium funnels. That is not required for what we're doing. You don't really need to buy premium funnels for, quite honestly. You can if you want. If you want to not, if you're impatient and you don't want to spend the time building funnels, you can always purchase premium ones. All right, so here we are back. If we go to follow-up funnels, again, you can see your contacts, people that are on your mailing list, people that have made purchases, email lists. These would be the different lists. Let's say you are sending people to a funnel. To get into a funnel, they have to join a mailing list. A mailing list is a group of people that are interested in a particular topic. For example, I would have a mailing list for people that are interested in my ebook, and then a separate mailing list that are people interested that have purchased my ebook, and then maybe even a separate mailing list for people that have joined my premium coaching service. So you want to have your contacts separated so that you know and you can send the correct messaging. Broadcast is where you're going to send those broadcasts that I mentioned a little bit earlier. Again, these are one-time emails that are going out to a group that you have selected. And then follow-up funnels are the autoresponder, the automated emails that get sent out as frequently or infrequently as you want. The great thing about email marketing is once people get into your mailing list and they get into your funnel, you can set it up where you send out emails every single day or every other day, every 2 weeks, whatever it is. And you're sending out emails that are targeted for what they're interested in. Again, if I have people that are interested in my ebook, I can send them an email every single day until they opt out, trying to push them to buy, adding value, discussing some pain points or problems that they're facing. If we continue on, action funnels and email campaigns are basically the same older terminology for broadcasts and follow-up funnels. We go over to Backpack. Backpack is not going to be available, but this adds additional functionality. For example, if you had affiliates for a product that you're promoting, let's say that you're selling a premium course for $1,000, you can hire affiliates, and affiliates can automatically pay affiliates through your Backpack, but you don't have access to it at this point, so that's not required. If we hover over unnamed company, you can go down to account settings, look at being an affiliate, and then manage your profile. So if we click account settings, you can enter in all of this information, which we won't do. I recommend that you do fill out this information, because when you are sending out automated emails, your contact information may show up at the bottom automatically. ClickFunnels subdomain is something that we'll talk about on the next page. If we go sub-users, you can add employees to your account if you want to and give them different level of permissions. Account billing is where you'd actually go to reduce your membership. You can choose a different plan, or I believe you can cancel altogether from here. If you choose a different plan, this is where you can see the difference between the 97 and the 297 plan, and you can make that switch. So we'll just click back. Notifications. You'll be notified, obviously. Account history, you can see all sorts of historical information with regard to your account. Page templates, if you wanted to, you can set up page templates. Digital assets is something that I use pretty frequently. On my autoresponder, as soon as someone joins my mailing list, I'll send them a digital download maybe 2 hours after they join to entice them. That's called a lead magnet. For example, on my YouTube channel, so they click the link in the description to learn a little bit more. They click the link, they enter in their email address. 2 hours later, I email them a PDF. The PDF is, again, that lead magnet to entice them to enter in their email address, and I can add one of those here, and I'll show you how to do that. It's actually pretty easy. And the next step is integrations. This is where you would integrate with different third-party plugins and applications. Payment gateways, this is where you can set up your Stripe or PayPal in order to collect payments. Again, if you're selling a digital download, you can collect payments that way. Email integrations, this is going to be pretty important if, again, you are planning on sending emails through Clickfunnels. Domains is where we're going to add a domain. We're going to do that actually in the next video. So we'll do that in just a moment. Close that. And then global unsubscribes. These are people that were on your mailing list at one point, but have recently decided to unsubscribe. You can add those manually as well. So this is a basic look at the back office for Clickfunnels. As I mentioned, in the next video, we are going to add a domain. I believe that at this time, the domains are free for the first year. After that, you'll pay, I think it's like 10 or 15 bucks. If they're not free, you can go buy a cheap domain from a few different sites, which will be pretty easy to find. And then you can use those domains to send emails. The reason why you need a domain, and I'll cover it more in depth, is because whatever you create on Clickfunnels is an actual website, and all websites, in order to connect to other websites on the internet, need a domain of some sort. But in the next video, I'll show you how to connect a domain. We'll talk about all that good stuff, and I'll see you on the other side. Hello, and welcome back to Clickfunnels 101, Introduction to Clickfunnels. I am Alston Godbolt, and in this video, we are actually going to connect a domain. As I alluded to in a previous video, you need a domain for Clickfunnels because what you're creating is actual websites and web pages. In order for your landing pages, websites, whatever it is, to send and receive information, it needs a domain. And so as I mentioned in this video, we are actually going to connect a domain. What you need to do, obviously, is log in and get to the dashboard. Hover over either unnamed company or if you've entered in the company name, and we're just going to click account settings. Once we get to account settings, we're going to go all the way down to domains, and we're going to click add a new domain. Then you want to either register a domain or add your own. If you want a new domain, you can do that. Like I said, I believe they're free for the first year. If you have an existing domain, so like let's say you went to, I think it's Namecheap, and bought a domain for 99 cents, you can do that as well. Just know that whatever domain that you pick will show up on the address bar. So if you choose, let's say like Alston Godbolt, that's going to show up on the address bar. So you want to make sure that it's something that is worthy of your company. You don't want to obviously be graphic or offensive because that will turn people off. Just know that it can be seen, it will be visible. So if I click on choose a domain, let's search available domains. I'm going to say Alston Godbolt and see what we can find. Now, when you're choosing a domain, you want to try Alston Godbolt. You want to try .com first. If .com doesn't work, after that, you want to try maybe .biz. You want to stay away from .org. You want to stay away from .gov. .gov won't even be an option. But you want to try for .com, then possibly .net. Again, stay away from .org unless you're a not-for-profit business. Let's see if we can say Alston J. Godbolt, see if that helps. Let's see if these are free. All right, so it looks like they are no longer free. Let's see if we can go back and find one that might be, okay. At one point they were offering a deal where they were free for the first year. At this point, as I mentioned, they're no longer free, so you have to pay 20 bucks. What I would probably recommend, what's probably a better option for you, is to go over to Namecheap and find something that's cheaper or less expensive. Once you find a domain and you click pay, it's going to automatically activate it. So once you click that $20, it's going to get you set up. Once you buy your domain, you got to come back over here and you got to click on add domain. You add the domain, you enter in the domain name, so choose an existing domain, enter in the domain name, and then you click add. So we're going to go, I'm just going to say alstongodbolt.com, and you're going to click add. And then basically you just need to go through the steps of adding the domain. And again, the reason why you want to do that is so when you're creating landing pages or websites, you can actually connect to the outside world and people will be able to see it. So that is really it. Now you will need to choose and use the right domain. You know that you've done it correctly when you click on domains and you're able to see it here. I'm just going to remove this other domain. Click edit. This domain will not affect anything. We want to remove the domain. Yes, delete this domain. Now what we need to do is I'm going to click on this domain. And this may take a few hours to go through properly, but we need to make sure that the domain and everything is set up and configured properly so that people can navigate to our website. So make sure the domain billing is on. I'm just going to turn this off so that I am not charged when the renew happens. So I'm turning that off because it will expire and renew automatically if you don't. Default page is none. So what we can do is once we get everything set up is we can set up a default page where if they just type in, let's say alstonjamesgodbolt.biz, they can say, oh no, you've gone to the wrong home or you've gone to the wrong place. Click this link to get redirected. So right now we don't have anything set up. If we just typed in alstongodbolt.com, it is going to take us nowhere. If we expand the 404 error page, if we wanted to, again, we could set something up, but we don't have any other pages right now, so it's not going to work. Domain forwarding, if we want, we can forward this to other sites. Then if we expand this, I would leave all of this as is. If you do not have a technical background, I would recommend leaving it as is. And then if we go to SSL, you want to make sure that it is SSL compliant because you want to be able to take secure payments. And if it's not SSL compliant, Google and the other search engines are going to suppress or your website won't appear as high in rankings. And that's important if you are creating a full-fledged website. So we would do check now. It's probably going to take a few hours for this to be SSL compliant, an SSL page. But if we click, okay, SSL is enabled on your domain. So basically what that means is if you look at the top in the address bar, either there will be a lock or it'll be unlock. If there isn't a lock, it means it's not secure. So as you can see here, before there was no lock. Now there's a lock and it means that it's secure, and it also shows that it's secured here. That is really all there is with adding a domain. It's very important that you do it. That's why I did it so early in the process. Now that we've added a domain, we want to look at adding an autoresponder for email, SMTP, and some of the other fun stuff before we can do the really fun stuff. So thanks for watching, and I will see you in the next video. In this video, I'm going to show you how to connect GetResponse to Clickfunnels. So we're going to use Clickfunnels for a few reasons. One, it's free for the first 30 days. And two, we're actually going to use it to send out the automated emails. Now, the way that this is set up, the process is simple. We use Clickfunnels to collect emails. We use GetResponse to send them out. We can send them out automatically, or we can use broadcasts. Basically, as I mentioned before, within Clickfunnels, GetResponse has the same thing. The reason why we want to use GetResponse is because it's cheaper, and the both of them combined actually come out to being less than just using Clickfunnels for everything. So as I mentioned in this video, we're going to show you how to set up GetResponse for free and then connect it to your Clickfunnels account. So if you go over to GetResponse, I've also put a link in the description, and you'll see a page that looks something like this depending on when you sign up. So we're just going to click sign up for free. and it has a 30-day free trial. So we're just going to enter in our information, and it will probably send us an email confirming. All right, we just got an email to confirm, and it says please activate get response, and I'm just going to click activate, and it works this quick. So I'm actually going to come back to you when I'm able to complete everything, and then we'll go ahead and connect it. So now that we created our free get response account, the next thing that we need to do is we need to integrate it with Clickfunnels. So to do that, we're just going to click on the menu button. We're going to go to integrations and API, and we are going to go to API, and we need to generate an API key. And to do that, we're just going to click generate API key, and we're going to call this test key 123, and we're going to generate a key. That's going to be a unique series of letters and numbers that you should not share with anyone. Do not share this with anyone. This is a unique key here. So what we're going to do next is we're going to go back over to Clickfunnels, and we're going to go up to account settings. We're going to come down to integrations, and then we're going to click add new integration. Now, the next thing is we need to find get response to integrate. So I'm just going to type in get response there. We need to give it a name, and I'm just going to call it test key 123 just to make sure everything is the same. And I'm going to paste in that, I'm going to paste in this key here that was auto-generated for us. So I'm going to paste that and click add integrations. And you know that it worked because you'll see it here, and you'll also see success up here. Now you can basically do this with any autoresponder, email list aggregator. I like GetResponse because they offer a free 30-day trial, and it's relatively inexpensive when you compare to the other things. So now that we've done that, the final step in this section, which is section 2, is we're just going to take a look around the page builder. There are some very important things that I want to cover so that there isn't any confusion or frustration when we start building our pages. On the next section, we're going to take a brief walk around the page builder. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you in the next video. Hello, and welcome back to ClickFunnels 101, Introduction to ClickFunnels. I am Alston Godbolt, and today we are going to take a quick look around the page builder. The reason why we want to do that is because the page builder is very powerful, but it can also be a little confusing if you're not familiar with some of the things that you need to do. And so make sure that you log in and you follow step by step. You'll need to watch this video a few different times until you're 100% comfortable with using the page builder. So what we're going to do is we are just going to go up to ClickFunnels, and we are going to click on funnels. And we're going to click add new. It should be blank. We're going to click add new, and we are going to build a classic funnel. So we're going to click create new funnel. For this, we're going to collect emails, but it doesn't really matter. So we're just going to choose collect emails, and we're going to call this look around, and we're just going to call this LA for look around, and we are going to build a funnel. Now, there's some very important things that you want to be aware of when you're building a funnel, so that you don't get confused, you don't get frustrated, because it can be frustrating when you build your first 5 or 10 funnels. But once you build 5 or 10, it'll be such that you can build a funnel in 10 minutes. So what we're going to do is we're just going to click this first opt-in page here, and we're going to click edit page. Now that we've opened up a template, let's take a look at the individual components of a page builder, a ClickFunnels page builder. A ClickFunnels page builder consists of sections, rows, columns, and elements. To put this in perspective, a section is kind of like a Word document page. You can have one page at a time. You can only manipulate one page at a time. And basically the page is going to, the section is going to dictate the background, the width of the page. So you can use different widths depending on what you're doing. Background color, if you want to have it boxed in. There's just a number of things that you can manipulate, which we'll take a look at. Within a section, you have rows. Rows are like lines. And then within rows, you can have columns. And then within columns, you can have elements. If you go back up, you can have multiple elements in a column, but you can only have one column in a row. And so if we look at this, again, the green here is a section. The blue here is a row. And then within row, you can have one column. And then within a column, you can have multiple elements. So what I'm going to do is I'm just going to delete everything and start off with a brand new fresh page. So if I delete, and when you delete something from a section, it deletes everything, including columns, rows, and elements. In order to get rid of this background, we're just going to go over to settings. We're going to go down to background, and we're just going to delete this image. So we have a completely blank page. The next thing we want to do is we want to click this plus here, and it's going to create a section. Now we can create a section full width, wide, medium, or small. It's really up to you. So we're going to do wide, and then within the section, we can create a row. Now you have to have a row before you can have anything else. You can't just blindly create elements, but with a row, you can create between 1 and 6 columns in a row. So we're going to do one column here. And then just to show you, I'm going to create another row with 2 columns. And I'm going to create another row with 3 columns. And I'm just going to do all 6 so that you can get an idea of what that looks like. And again, anytime you want to create a new column, you have to create a new row. And one thing that I'm going to show you in just a moment, we'll say, one thing that I'll show you in just a moment is you can actually adjust the size of the columns, which is pretty cool. So what we could do here, if we wanted to, we can make this very small. Let's say we want to have an image here, and then we want to have a bunch of text. We can really adjust this in any way. And then if we wanted to, we can go down and make another section. But let's go back and let's manipulate this column. So within the column, we can add elements. As you can see on the right-hand side here, there are a number of different elements that we can take advantage of. So if we want to do a headline here, we could say and do just about anything. On this line, this column and row, we are going to add in an image. That's what a demo image looks like. Beneath that, we can add in a button. There's just a number of different things that you can do. And one thing that I want to show you when it comes to creating rows, columns, and sections, there is always this gear or settings icon. If you click on that, it enables you to have many more options. Again, if you want to add a background image, if you want to change the background color, if you wanted to adjust where it shows up on the page, you can do that. And then it even gives you some advanced settings. If we want to add a border, let's add a full border. That would show up around our section. And you basically have the same opportunity at each individual level, section, columns, and rows. If we want to change the background color, we could do that. We can add a drop shadow. So that's what that looks like. And so on. So again, if we go down to our row here, we can actually do the same thing within our row. We can adjust the top margin if we wanted to. We can add a background image here. We can change the background color. We can adjust a lot of stuff when it comes to being able to manipulate your web page with Clickfunnels. So if we wanted to, we can add another border. Let's add a full border so you can see how that's framed. We can add a drop shadow in here if we want. So basically, every section gives you the same opportunity to have the same manipulation. The best advice that I can give you when it comes to Clickfunnels is don't be afraid to play around. Don't be afraid to mess anything up, because that's going to be the best way that you can learn. While this is a great introduction and tutorial, I'm sure that there will be 1 or 2 things that I miss, omit, or forget. And really the best way for you to make sure that you know every single thing when it comes to ClickFunnels is that you go in and you play with it on your own. And so what we can do is you just have a wealth of options when it comes to making changes. So here, let's actually change the background color so you can see that it only impacts. Let's change that to black. As you can see, that's the result. Change that back to white. If we wanted to. So most people are really only going to use text, an image, and a button. Occasionally, you will use a video, and it's very easy. Video is very easy to use. You just add a video, and then you click on the video, and then you have a number of options. You can embed it from a YouTube video or some of these other options. And again, you can adjust the width. So if you want it to look like that, you can do that. Let's take a look at the buttons real quick. Button is very important and very tricky. With the button, you have a lot of options. And that's one thing that you'll realize with ClickFunnels is you'll have a lot of options and you may not use all of them. Personally, the button color is pretty important when it comes to call to actions. I'll probably remind you of this multiple times. When you create a button, it is very important that you set the action to where you want the content to go. If you're creating a landing page to collect email addresses, make sure you go to submit order so that the email address or the email address that the customer puts in actually goes to your landing page. I've made the mistake of changing this to go to website URL or go to next step in the funnel, and it gives you a warning. This does not submit your form. You want to collect the email address, so you want it to submit the form. Any of these other options here aren't going to submit the form. If you're building a landing page or if you're building a bridge page, then just something to get your customer off of the site like maybe YouTube or somewhere else and you're trying to get them to a sales page, if they click to sign up, then it's okay for it to go directly to a website and you can put in that website there. I always recommend opening a new page so that this page isn't closed. But if you're collecting email addresses, you want them to usually go to submit the form. So some other things that we want to take a look at. If we go settings and integrations, we want to go select integrations and we want to integrate our get response integration that we set up in the last video. Now this is critical if you are collecting email addresses. You want to make sure that you do this every single time so that when they enter in their email address and they click this button to sign up, their email address goes to that email list that you set up and they can get added to the auto responder. So what we've done is we've added our get response, and then you just need to do add to campaign, select a list, and it will automatically know which list that you have connected. And once you've connected, it'll say connected here. So when someone enters in their email address, and we're going to build a actual landing page, so don't get concerned just yet. When someone enters in their email address and clicks submit, it'll go to their get response. It'll go to your get response landing page. So if we go settings here, SEO metadata, you want to change this because whatever you change up here will change up here in the top left tab. So if we say this is for Udemy, that'll show up here in the top left. This is for Udemy. It's also important that you have a description because this will show up on Google search results. Also have some keywords, and then you want to change the author. If you change the URL image, that'll actually change this right here because right now it's set to the ClickFunnels image, but you can actually change that for it to show up as something else. So for example, we could say this was made by Udemy, and this is what people will see when they want to learn a little bit more about your site before going to it directly. So you want to make sure that this doesn't have the default language. So what we can do at this point is we're just going to click save. Then we're going to click preview. and you're going to get a rough idea of what it looks like. Now, obviously, because we didn't add in content down here, there won't be anything down there. But this is a rough idea of what we've made so far. We're going to close that, and I want to show you the pop-up. You can actually turn pop-ups on. So if someone leaves your page, or if they go up and they attempt to leave your page, you can make this pop-up show up, or you can make the pop-up the next step when someone wants to click to find out more. So what we're going to do is we are going to edit pop-up settings. We can show on exit. So when someone goes to exit, this will show up. We can do backdrop. We can change that to white if we wanted to. We'll leave that at that color. Background color, change that to white, change it to red. We will leave it at that color. And again, you can change the way that this looks. Advanced. If you want, you can manipulate some of those colors. We'll say full border, so you can see what that looks like. And you just have a wealth of options, and you can get as pretty or as detailed as you want when it comes to this. So let's say, let's manipulate this button now. So we're going to click on the button, and then we can set the action. And again, you'll have the exact same options as you would before. So let's preview. I'm going to save this. And right now we have it set to show up on exit. So if we click preview, and we go up to exit, boom, there it is. So that is how, this is the basics of a page builder when it comes to ClickFunnels. If you were going to add, let's say, a Facebook pixel, I'll show you where to do that. I'll show you where to do that right now. You want to add background picture, general, there's just a lot of things that you can do, but you don't really need to do it when you're just getting started. So while I'm here, I want to show you how to add a Facebook pixel or a Google pixel if that's what you're using. So you just go to settings. You see where it says head tracking code? Facebook is going to give you a pixel code that you're going to copy, and you would paste it right here. The other thing that I want to show you is the domain. We set up a domain in the previous video. You need to activate that domain or add the domain in order for your web pages to be visible online. If you don't set this domain, no one outside of you will be able to view your website. So we just need to go down, we'll click save, and then there you go. So if we were to click this here, it should take us to our web page. And as you can see at the top, it says this is Udemy. This pops up when we exit. And you can see this is some of the stuff that we created. So this is a very good basic template to get started. We basically know everything that we need to know or that we want to know before we start building out our web, or before we start building out our sales pages and our landing pages. So this is a pretty good start for section 2. And section 3 is where we're going to actually start having some fun, where we build out web pages and case studies and do all of that good stuff so that you can get up and running to grow your business. So thanks for watching, and I'll see you in the next video. Hello and welcome back to ClickFunnels 101, Introduction to ClickFunnels. In this video, we're just going to quickly wrap up everything that we did and take a few minutes to talk about what's coming up next. So in this section, section 2, we have basically set up all of the outline the foundational steps to start building sales funnels and membership sites and actual websites. But we should be off and running. We should have a pretty good foundation. We talked about basically the components of a ClickFunnels webpage, the sections, elements, columns, and rows. We actually set up for the 2-week, we set up the 2-week free trial. We connected a domain, and we actually connected an autoresponder. We got a lot of work done. And so in the next section, which will be section 3, we are actually going to build our first landing page. Some people call it a sales funnel, opt-in page, bridge page. We're basically going to talk about the components of that. So we're going to build a landing page, a thank you page, and we're going to connect our autoresponder. And we're also going to add a lead magnet to our digital aspect. And then finally, I will put that link and make it shareable so that you can download a version of what we've done. So I can't wait to get started. We're actually going to start building out a website or a web page at the very least. We're going to connect everything up, and you can see how it flows seamlessly. And what we're going to do is we're actually going to use the example of a plumber or a small business owner. If you are an affiliate marketer, you can kind of adapt it to meet your needs. If you are in another type of business, maybe you run like a hair salon or a barbershop or whatever, this can be totally adaptable. You just have to change a few words and possibly even change an image. So let's go ahead and get started in the next section.